Nigeria's history has been laced with beads woven over time with the life and time of Chief Olusegun Matthew Aremu Okikiola Obasanjo. Former Federal Commissioner for Works, former Chief of Staff, Supreme Headquarters, former Head of State, former President, former Chairman of ECOWAS, former Chairman of African Union, former Chairman of Group of 77, former Chairman of Commonwealth Heads of Government, and former Chairman of NEPAD Heads of State and Government Implementation Committee. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who recently turned 87, couldn't have been celebrated less in his Abeokuta International Librarian home. One of his achievements when he came into power in 1999 as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the Third Republic after Nigeria's return to democracy from the military rule was to conceive and birth what we now call the Nigeria Diaspora.
The 2005 National Political Reforms Conference, as launched by President Olusegun Obasanjo, was seen within the diaspora community as a momentous occasion in the sense that for the diaspora, it provided a much needed opportunity to begin to deepen the galvanization process that President Obasanjo had initiated when he took over as president of Nigeria in 1999 and actually proactively reached out to Nigeria as part of that missing link in the accelerated development of Nigeria that was very, very critical at that moment. From that moment when President Obasanjo kickstarted the formal process, was seen now as something that is no longer a one-night stand. It is a relationship that is meant to stick. And so, that being the case, it was important to begin to look more at the long-term goals rather than the quick wins. Of course, the quick wins are important because, of course, they kind of ginger people up, they motivate the actors to see immediate results and begin to drive them. Nonetheless, the major eyes were on the long-term goal. It was very important to get all stakeholders involved in this. And there couldn't have been a better way of, securing not just their involvement, but also their buy-in in what NIDO was planning to do than, convening a summit. That summit held in London at the Nigeria High Commission. It was a summit of NIDO worldwide, attended by as many Nigerians as possible from different parts of the world. Nigeria, at this point, needed to have a special advisor on diaspora affairs at the presidency. That way, there will be somebody who is able to ventilate all of the diaspora matter, but someone that, of course, understands the diaspora landscape. With the summit concluded that it was important to push for that. The diaspora was, ready to settle for a commission, and so it was adopted by the summit. And then, equally very important, and perhaps more important than all of the other resolutions of the summit, was the out-of-country voting, as we refer to it then. Today, it is being called diaspora voting. We thought it was something Nigeria needed to have, and considering that it was a national political reforms conference, then it was important to then look into the nitty-gritty of securing the Nigerian diaspora voting rights. And when we did, we found out that yes, it is a constitutional thing. No matter how much goodwill existed, no matter how germane the idea was, if it is a constitutional issue, then it's got to be dealt with at the National Political Reforms Conference. And so it was also, adopted.
In light of global issues, we shall be having the continuation of our interview with Mr. Femi Boyede, international trade consultant and non-oil experts.
Services export is an area where Nigeria is yet to start. I was part of a three-man team, international consultants, that the Commonwealth Secretariat contributed to Nigeria to help develop a services export strategy. But whenever you hear talk about Nigeria's export, 80% of the time you hear a listing of export products and commodities. You hear a campaign for value-added export. Fantastic. I do not support the continued exportation of Nigeria's commodities in their raw form. I support and I advocate for value addition, at least semi-processing. But we are ignoring services, which the International Trade Center in Geneva has actually accounting for about 67% of global trade. What this means is that for every unit of an export product, what goes into its production is most likely 67% services. Services trade does not require physical movement of persons or goods, and therefore it does not require the humongous capital outlay for the export that we know in its traditional manner right now. Nigeria for a long time has been an exporter of services without officializing that as a component of Nigeria's economic base. The head office building, I don't know if they have had a new one now, of the African Development Bank about 20 years ago, was designed by a Nigerian architect. That architect was paid in US dollar. As of today, Wizkid, Denny, P-Square, Burna Boy, and all of those, they are earning billions abroad. They are talents that Nigeria exported. I do not think that Nigerian Bureau of Statistics or Central Bank of Nigeria Trade and Exchange Department, I do not think that they have any template for capturing the economic income of these talents that is supposed to also be reported as part of our export earnings. I'm an avid and passionate football fan. I have also been following whether they eventually decide to play for Nigeria or they play for England or like Folarin Balogun. All of these are services that Nigeria exported or is exporting. You go to any country. I was in Qatar in 2019. As soon as I said Nigeria, the next thing, oh, Okocha, Kanu. That's the way they know them. If somebody like Bukayo Saka, there's no part of him that is England. From the blood to the name, to even his smile when you see him playing, his Nigerian smile. As a footballer, that's a talent that Nigeria has exported. Even if they are not repatriating this in the physical form, I believe that it is part of economic development and economic performance for Nigeria to be able to capture the services that is exported. I came across documentaries produced by a Taiwo Adekoye documentary. Probably Taiwo Adekoye has not been to Australia, but Taiwo Adekoye's documentary is played on Australian TV on Australia National Day. The Taiwo Adekoye documentary is playing on Super Madrid. But Taiwo Adekoye is in Nigeria. I know a lady lawyer here in Abuja whose 90% of her legal practice is actually from Qatar and Lebanon. Her office is here in Abuja. She is operating, before COVID, these people were already operating online businesses, services export. I got so fired up about this in 2003, 2004. I was on a short-term consultancy in Geneva, Switzerland, when I had the management of ITC discussing women in services export and trying to locate a pilot program in Tunisia. Of course, the Nigeria in me would not accept that. And because the project I was handling was an evaluation of the overall South-South trade development project of the ITC funded by the United Nations, I fought, not physically, intellectually, as an advocate. I fought for that program to be located in Nigeria. And that is the origin of the existence of the network of Nigerian women exporters of services.
We discuss all of this so that we can get better deal and there can be policy framework to guide these relations between the two countries, including transfer of prisoners, sentenced persons, and this was what took us to London from the 18th to the 20th of March 2024.
Nigeria Correctional Service remains a vital security tool and the security architecture of Nigeria government, and by the virtue of vital role it plays. The last outing by the Controller General to United Kingdom, there is a memorandum of understanding with the UK government on repatriation of Nigerian citizens serving jail term in the UK custodial centers. And part of the memorandum of understanding is to see those who may wish, those who may have committed offense in the UK there and already been sentenced, but may not or will not like to serve their jail term in UK. So they want to come and finish their jail term in Nigeria. Already this memorandum of understanding has actually been signed about 2 years ago, but the last visit to UK to formalize the agreement so that any of Nigerian citizen that is serving a jail time in UK custodial center that may wish to finish his jail term in Nigeria can be repatriated to come and serve his jail term. And by so doing, they just want to reconnect with the culture in Nigeria. And a lot of people will start wondering, why will you be serving jail term in UK and you want to come and finish their jail term in Nigeria? Of course, there is a lot of activities or rejuvenation in Nigeria Correctional Service that actually a lot of people don't know because of the coming of Nigeria Correctional Service Act of 2019 that actually mandates the service to ensure that all inmates under our custody are put through entrepreneurship that will aid their re-entry back to the society. And we have a lot of positive records on that. Recall that in the year 2018, Nigeria Correctional Service won UNESCO Award in 2018 as the best correctional center on inmate educational program. It was won by the service in the year 2018. This to show that we are doing so much on inmate reformation and rehabilitation. It is the wish of the British government to see that they have a robust relationship with Nigeria Correctional Service. And that informed the decision of the UK government to bring up this issue of bilateral discussion between the UK and Nigeria government. And since we are stakeholders in this discussion, that informed the idea of the Controller General going to UK to actually be a kind of a stakeholder in that conversation. And this to tell you that it is because the government of Nigeria is doing so much through issue of support to Nigeria Correctional Service, which is a reflection of inmate reformation rehabilitation we all have been witnessing in the past few years. And let me say it here, or let me say this opportunity to say that today, some inmates do say in Nigeria that their imprisonment is a blessing in disguise, because we have a lot of them who have actually gone through our regime program, running various entrepreneurship program and also their educational program. Maybe I will use this opportunity to also say that we have inmate today who has actually written this book, The Moon is Out. This is an inmate who has no formal education when he came to our facility. No formal education. It was in our facility, he sat for WAEC, passed his WAEC at credit level, enrolled for his university program, finished his degree program, and as I speak to you now, he's doing his master's degree. It was during this process of his first degree program he wrote this book. Very soon the book will be launched for the public to read what an inmate has actually done behind the bar. And also I want to use this opportunity to also say that we have inmates who are actually currently running their PhD program, and about 3 are writing their thesis in our custodial centers across Nigeria. Presently, we have over 2,000 inmates running various degree programs in our custodial centers. We have our custodial center with a full library with various books given by the service and others donated by NGOs. This to tell you that we have made it a priority that all inmates that actually are brought to our facility have a behavioral change that will help their reintegration back to the society. And it is a duty to us that we must meet our mandate and the mandate of part of it, which is behavioral change of those who are brought to our facilities. Having said that, even in our Correctional Service Act 2019, Section 16, subsection 1, empowers Nigeria Correctional Service, the Controller General, for reasons of either security reason or administrative, to transfer inmates from one custodial center to another, even if the said custodial center is not mentioned in the warrant. He will use the power given to him by Section 16, subsection 1 of Correctional Act. We mean the issue of transfer of inmates is not just only from outside the country to bring them here. Even within Nigeria, where you find that the Controller General felt that there is a security threat to a particular custodial center, or as a result of outbreak of disease. Furthermore, he can also transfer inmate out of a custodial center where we feel that there is a kind of congestion in that custodial center. And this transfer implies or is not only to convicted inmate, including unconvicted, where he deemed fit that such inmate should not be in a particular custodial center. He has the powers, has enshrined in Section 16, subsection 1 of NCOS Act to transfer such inmates.
Nigeria, United Kingdom have agreed to how data should be shared between them. And this helps. You know, one of the issues that have been on our list for 3 years or thereabout is that when people are being deported from either of the country, there is need to exchange information on the character of the person that is coming, the personality. Is he a criminal, or does he have any criminal record? So on criminal record sharing, there is an agreement on this between the United Kingdom. And as you know, you have said Nigeria and the UK has a very strategic relationship. This is very true. If the UK is not having the largest diaspora of Nigeria, it should be having the second. And that tells you that that is one country that, apart from Nigeria, you find the highest number of Nigerians living there. As we have returned now from the United Kingdom, we're going to sit down and look at everything that we went with as our objective, as our goal, because we went to represent the good people of Nigeria.
I want to make an appeal to the general public, because the Nigeria Correctional Service is playing a very active role in the security architecture of Nigeria through our mandate, including public safety. The reason why most people go about their normal businesses is because they will be nuisance to the society are kept behind the bar. And they are not just kept there, but they are kept there, and then we have been mandated to ensure that these people, they have behavioral change. But the alarming thing from the feelers and what we notice from the public is that at the expiration of this change people from our custodial center, the public will not accept them. There is only stigmatization of ex-offenders, which is not good for the correctional service and also the public. Naturally, people are always where they are wanted. People are always where they are wanted. If they are feeling their jail term and they have learned skills that will aid them through, helping themselves in terms of employment, engagement, meaningful engagement, because they have learned some skills acquisition. They have gone through entrepreneurship. They have gone through reformation rehabilitation in our centers and are ready to, to reintegrate back to the society. The society should please accept them. Because if the society fails to accept them, the society is sending them back to their peer groups that enable them go and commit another crime and come back to the custodial center. So I want to make a passionate appeal to the public to stop stigmatization of ex-offenders. It's not good for reintegration.
Join us in the next episode of Global Light, plus our segments in light of global issues.